Wise Markets presents Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, brought to you by Wyoming Seminary.
It's a brisk, chilly afternoon on the campus of Bucknell University in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And that's no April Fool's joke. But inside Christy Matheson Stadium, Patriot League men's lacrosse is heating up as the 7th-ranked Army Black Knights battle Bucknell. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob I, joined today by Bob Vanderhayden, Coach Van, part of the Philadelphia Lacrosse Association. Let's first take a look at the Patriot League standings. Bob, 4 games left, a very important game today.
Very important. For the Black Knights, they're undefeated, so a win for them today means they're going to clinch this playoff berth. For Bucknell, hot on Black Knights' heels, a win for them continues their season into the playoffs.
Army has one of the top scoring teams in the league and all of the nation. They're led by Cole Johnson.
Cole Johnson, a senior, an attackman, a leader out on the field, 99 career points. One more today puts him in the century mark.
On the opposite side, one of the top assist leaders in all of the Patriot League is Will Sands.
Will Sands, a multifaceted player up at attack. Again, another senior leader. He's going to be looking to assist number 88, put some points up on the board for Bucknell.
It's a senior day afternoon in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. A win would go a long way for a Patriot League playoff berth for Bucknell. When we come back, it's the opening face-off, and we'll have the starting lineups here on MyTV.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
Back live at Christy Matheson Stadium at Bucknell University in beautiful Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, the 7th-ranked Army Black Knights and Bucknell. Here now your starters for the Black Knights on the defensive side: Johnny Surdick, Reeves Clipstein, we'll talk about him later on, and Dom Rica. The middies we'll take a look at in a second as we get ready for today's national anthem. Our national anthem here at Bucknell. Let's continue now with the starters for the Black Knights, 8-1 overall. On the attack, we talked about Cole Johnson, but Nate Jones has 20 goals on the year, and Connor Clancy has 10 goals, and he moved over from a midi a year ago. And the middies are Gunnar Miller, Austin Colvin, and David Sims. Your goalie, one of the tops in the nation for Army, is A.J. Barreto, and A.J. is 6.44 goals against average. That's second in the nation and first in the Patriot League. He's small in stature, but he's large in the net. Now, how about for Bucknell, the home team today? 4-5 overall, 2-3 in Patriot League play. A big win last week over Loyola. Matt Gilray is an all-Patriot League defensive player. Matt Chiappa at defense, and Benny Borgiune on the defense. Middies look like this: Reed Malice, Tom Smith, and Sean O'Brien, a career high right now, 24 goals. And the attack led by Will Sands. You also have Quinn Collison and Connor O'Hara out of New York, 23 goals on the season. In the net, Christian Clipstein, The brother of Reeves Klipstein on the other side, 10.74 goals against average, 4 and 5 overall. And last week he was named goalie of the week in their big win over Loyola. So keys to the game, first up for the Army Black Knights. Coach Van?
Well, we were talking with the coaches earlier this week, and Army has got to neutralize Will Sands. We mentioned him earlier. He's an offensive threat up at the attack end of the field. He's a leader. He's an assist maker. He's going to be looking to feed a lot of his shooters. Army's going to need to neutralize Will. And they've got to be patient on offense and grind down the Bucknell defense. Over on Bucknell's side, Bucknell has got to stop Army from making any big runs. 2 or 3 points in a row is okay. They go more than that, Army can start getting some momentum and really take them down. And so Bucknell has got to stop Army transition. If they can stop that transition, Bucknell can stay in this game.
Army number 1 in the nation in faceoffs. Their faceoff guy, Dan Graber, number 99, going against Jarrett Witzel. Army wins it, but some quick slashing from Bucknell, and it's the Black Knights with the first possession of the afternoon, and they'll set it up. What do you expect out of the Army offense, Bob?
Army offense, I expect them to be, as Army would be, disciplined. They are all going to need to work together as a team here. They're going to probably look to grind down the Bucknell defense as well. Making a couple of substitutions so they're getting the right personnel that they need out on the field, put those people in the right positions, and put the ball, as I've said many times before, in the back of the net.
Second in the Patriot League in goals, over 12.42. First in the Patriot League in shots per game, 41. So they can shoot it pretty well, and they're also first on man up when we have that opportunity. So a very good, disciplined Army team already with a big win over Syracuse. First goal of the afternoon goes to the Black Knights, and that's David Sims, who had the game-winning goal against the Orange.
So he was great in the past game. He's starting them right off on exactly where they want to do, putting the ball in the back of the net. If you watch this, he's able to get some penetration in, and he knew that Bucknell slide was coming, but he still just dodged right past him and was able to put the ball in the net. It was a great shot. Bob, I was going to bring to your attention that Army was set up in a 1-4-1, traditional kind of a formation. They moved the ball around, and then they adjusted into a 1-3-2, which takes a very disciplined team to be able to do that on the run as they're moving. To change from one formation to another and to be effective at it. And Army was very effective, came away with a point.
So early on in the game, Black Knights with the big lead, and a huge turnover for Bucknell, taken right out of the air. And Army now will set up their second possession, already up 1-0 here in the first quarter. Army's defense not too shabby in its own. We talked about the goals against average. They give up just 26 shots per game on that side. And they do well in the faceoffs, as we have seen already. Bucknell's defense coming in, giving up 11 goals per game. That's 65% of those shot on goal go into the back of the net.
Bob, I'm already seeing it. Army is playing a disciplined game. They're substituting through the midfield line. They're controlling the pace right there. On that interception down in their defensive end of the field, the defense was very athletic. They weren't just beating it up, but they were very athletic, working the ball amongst themselves to bring the ball up the field at their pace. So that was very good. Now it looks like they're back in again, they changed it from a 1-4-1 set right into a 1-3-2. But they're still able to move the ball around.
And they get it back out top to Johnson at the top. They'll roll it around. Clancy gives it off to the right-hand side to Johnson, who's a natural lefty, but you see him play with his right hand a lot. Shot blocked.
Well, at this level of the game, players need to be ambidextrous. They've got to be able to throw, catch, pass, shoot, scoop, everything, both right hand and left hand side. That's where the real success comes from.
Well, we talked to Coach Federaca from Bucknell yesterday about his defense and the way he plays 3 different of those. Where are they in right now? Shot on goal, outside again, a score. Avery Littlejohn gets his 6th goal of the season, the 2nd of the afternoon for the Black Knights, and an early 2-0 lead.
Once again, the offense was disciplined there. They were moving the ball around the outside. We're able to get a shot from up top. We'll take a look here. Bucknell seems to be in a zone defense. Army sees that, takes a nice time and room shot from way up top, and was able to just put that right past the goalie. That was a pretty fast shot there, and Army's going to need some more of those fast shots to stay up on top.
Oh, Klipstein out of Califon, New Jersey, is having a tough time in goal right now. Number 45 for Bucknell.
Well, Bob, you mentioned it before about the Bucknell defense, and Coach Federaca said he had a couple of different sets that he likes to use, and if the other team starts getting used to one, he'll switch to another. It's looking to me like they're playing more of a zone type of a defense, maybe a little bit of a hybrid in there. They're definitely covering the crease a little bit tighter. However, Army, that last shot came from the outside. So if Army's just moving the ball around, looking for those weaknesses there.
3 face-offs, 3 wins by Army. Bounce shot taken by Clancy. That one blocked well by Klipstein. And now a clear on for Bucknell. Let's see if they can set up on their 6-on-6 offense and get a goal back. They averaged 9.89 goals per game, 37 shots for the Bison. This one's long pass downfield. Great catch on the opposite side.
Well, Army had a great ride right there. They're closing off all of the close passes, so really they left Bucknell with that long Hail Mary chance pass.
Because to remind viewers, you have 30 seconds to get into the box.
Yes, they had to get the ball up over essentially what you're looking at on the field, the 30-yard line, which is the restraining line for the men's lacrosse team. And so they had to get the ball up there. And if Army was looking to pressure all of their easy passes, Army was forcing Bucknell to make the hard pass. In that instance, they made it.
So Will Sands and crew about to go to work. Smith blocked off. Army primarily likes to play man-to-man defense.
That's how they're set up right here. They're definitely playing a little closer to the threat.
Sands the focus. He'll draw the long stick most of the afternoon, and he has, and that's number 12, Serdick. He's a sophomore. Now they have a short stick on the X. Shot off the mark on the outside by Sean O'Brien, the junior out of Bethesda, Maryland. And Bison will retain possession. This is Sands, 33 assists this season. That's second in the Patriot League, 14 goals overall. They combined last week, O'Brien and Sands, for the big double overtime win. 9-8, shot, score, Bucknell.
We talked about it before. Number 22, Will Sands, is looking to feed right in there on the crease and get those shots. That shot went right through the 5-hole. Great shot, great assist. We'll see it right here. Will is looking for it, just puts the ball right where it has to be. Right under the goalie's legs.
Right in the 5-hole, right?
5-hole there. That's a tough one again. Getting that stick down there. You never know what the ball's going to do off the bounce. So that's good for Bucknell. They've got a little momentum. Let's see what they do with it.
So as I talked about him, Sands finds O'Brien. O'Brien's 25th career goal. That's a career high. And a big one there that gets Bucknell back into this game with 9:24 and counting. And a huge face-off win by Witzel. Just how important will the face-offs be today?
Well, the face-offs in the men's game are key. Because if you just come off of scoring a point, so you had possession, and be able to win the face-off, you maintain your possession, and you can keep your momentum going. If every time you come up to X, it's a
great ride by Army right now.
Yes. Yeah, Army's been playing really hard on the ride here, and they really have been forcing Bucknell to. I don't know if Bucknell is playing that clear exactly the way that they want to. Army is definitely playing tough lacrosse in the middle of the field.
Last year, Bucknell went up to Army, won 7-6. A big win there. As Bucknell made it into the Patriot League playoffs last season, upsetting Holy Cross in the quarters and then before losing to Loyola. And those that follow Bucknell men's lacrosse, how about that game last week here against the Greyhounds? Double overtime win. They played real tough. That's their second win over a top 20 team in 3 weeks. It's been an up and down year, Coach Federaca has said. And they have to play what? They have to play angry, yes. Coach, he said, right? Angry.
Yes, Coach Federaca said that when they're playing angry, they're right on. They're there. So because of that, I took a couple of the players' parking spots today. Maybe that kind of ticked them off, and the guys are angry, and they'll get going here today. So I am seeing a lot of movement on the crease for Bucknell. I'm seeing a lot of movement there. It looks like they're trying to get some good looks. Army is playing good defense on that, but I can see a couple of the players. I think number 88, Connor O'Hara, he's looking to get open. He's looking to get those feeds. We've got a little isolation coming from the corner here, so let's see how Bucknell moves and what they force Army to do.
Bucknell with the second middies in. Most of the attack players for Bucknell will play most of the game. Durkin cut off. Fine in front. Oh, almost a shot.
It was a great feed. Just happened to slip out of his stick just a little soon before he was able to take the shot. Now Army's coming the other direction. They've got some numbers here.
Transition goal, Army Black Knights. Connor Clancy finds another one, and that forces Coach Federaca to call a timeout. So with that 3-1 lead for the Black Knights, we'll take a timeout ourselves. 7:05 remaining in the first quarter. The Bison have to get back in this one quick.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
Wyoming Seminary was voted the #1 private school in northeastern Pennsylvania for grades toddler to 12 and postgraduate. SEM has it all. Challenging academics, diverse arts, championship athletics, activities for every interest, and has both local and boarding students from all over the world. Call or visit today.
We're ready for another face-off. 3 quick goals here in the first quarter for the Black Knights of Army, ranked 7th in the country. 5 shots on goal, 2 for 4 on the face-offs, Bob, and a 3-1 lead. And Black Knights showing why they are a top 10 team.
We talked about it a little bit before the break. The face-offs are important. They're going to keep possession, keep your momentum going. You want to come up with the ball at this point as much as possible. So there's Bucknell, and you see Army just doesn't let them just have it. They're going to keep fighting all the way through.
Witzel off the face-off win all the way in, took a shot a little wide, but he did a nice job on that face-off, and that's going to be something to watch and a huge factor for the Bison in the game.
And I thought it was interesting how he not only did he just take the face-off and then look to get the ball down, but he actually went all the way to the goal. A lot of Fogos, as we call them, face-off, get-off players. They'll take the face-off, they'll get the ball, run over to the side, pass it to somebody, and head back to the bench. Whereas a player just went right to the goal.
So the Bucknell offense back on now, trailing by 2.
It looks to me like the Army defense has changed slightly. They're still playing man-to-man, but they seem to be giving a little more room to the crease area. They look to be they're looking to slide early there. You know what I'm saying? The defense. What I mean by that slide is that defensive player that's playing on the crease offensive player. He's looking to slide to the ball when the ball starts threatening that crease area. That first slide, and some teams will have a second slide that'll come afterwards. All right, they started off that way with a little bit of space. Now they've gone right back to playing a tight man-to-man defense.
Referee calls it for Bucknell. 2 shots in that sequence by Reed Malice, the 6'1" sophomore. Number 17.
Another key to maintaining possession is to make sure one of your players is back behind the goal when you do take that shot. Again, to remind our viewers, when the ball goes out of bounds off of a shot, the closest player to the ball as it goes out of bounds is awarded possession. So if Bucknell can have a player back at X when they take that shot, they can possibly maintain possession and keep their offensive ride going.
That was Tom Smith getting his hands free, a left-handed shot. So definitely trying to pepper Barreto with shots and see if one can get in. It's going to be tough to score against the 5'6" sophomore out of Maryland, number 4 in the goal, Bob. He doesn't give up a lot, as we said, just over 6 per game. I guess the more shots he faces, they feel like they have a better chance.
Yeah, they're going to be playing a numbers game here. Like you just said, many shots, and hopefully some of them will go in. Some percentage of them will go in.
So a quick start from the Black Knights. Up 3-1. Take it back out on top. Little John checks in, number 0, out of Severna Park, Maryland. Already with a goal. Clancy with a couple of goals, number 53. So they'll set it up, and it looks like Bucknell will be in a zone look on the defensive side.
Yeah, it looks like they're continuing that. Their crease defenseman has definitely got his hands full, and he is bouncing back and forth. So he's able to cover in that crease. Right now the Army's in a 1-4-1 type of a set. They're moving the ball around the outside, looking for a weak spot in the Bucknell defense.
Army last week beating Colgate 10-8. Little John with a shot. Good block by Klipstein in there. He's a sophomore, Rutgers prep. Again, his brother's on the opposite side. Talked about that, Reeves Klipstein. He's a senior, defensive specialist for Army, number 13. And looks like the younger brother, that time anyway, got the big stop.
Big stop, big save. Was right. It was actually a pretty quick one. Went right to his stick. He got his hands up there, got his stick up there. He was able to make that stop. And Bucknell brought the ball up the field. So let's see if Bucknell can wear down the Army defense a little bit here.
9 shots so far taken by the Bison. Just one of those has gone in. So they are trying to pepper the sophomore goalkeeper for the Army Black Knights with shots, trying to get something to squeeze through.
We got a little bit over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And when I talk to lacrosse players, especially defensive players, man-to-man defense is much more tiring because you've got to chase and you've got to follow and you've got to stay with your man and you're constantly running, whereas zone might give you a little bit of a chance to breathe. You still need to pay attention, but a little chance to breathe. So hopefully for Army, they are all in good shape and they are ready to run for the entire game. I would assume that they are.
Shot, goal. Quinn Collison out of Cincinnati, the senior, finds the back of the net. Bucknell down just 1 now.
That's good for Bucknell. They need that. All right, so here's that shot. Coming around. Now that fake, if you saw that fake right there, that was important. The goalie went for that fake, and then the offense was able to put that in. Quinn was able to put that in right over his shoulders. Once that goalie makes his move to the ball, the disciplined shooter will know, I got him moving, shoot it somewhere else. Shoot it where the goalie ain't, as we used to say.
The feed from the top assist maker in the Patriot League, Will Sands. And we'll have a hold and Army ball. Quick start. Now Army will change in third personnel. Comes a trailer. Colvin gets in, number 36, a junior out of California.
The thing that's interesting to me is Army has done this at least 3 or 4 times so far in the game. They're substituting through the midfield line. They're making a lot of substitutions when they bring the ball up onto offense. But Bucknell is letting them make those substitutions. During that time when players are running on and off the field to substitute for each other, the Bucknell defense could come out and kind of try to disrupt that Army play, but they haven't been doing that. Oh, there's a clear that broke down a little bit. Goalie made a great save. We've got a broken stick on the field.
So kind of a man up until they can get the guy off the field, and they do. It's retained by Army on the defensive side. Things heating up. Got to get that broken stick up. That was Grayson Helm out of Wild Missing Pennsylvania, who broke a stick number 9, a midi from the Bison.
Yeah, and the officials will stop the clock there too.
Yeah, and Joe Albarisi, 12th season with the Army, wants to know why they stopped. He's talking to the. So a big takeaway for the Cadets and the Black Knights, up 3-2 now. We expect a low-scoring game, but 3-2 in the first kind of leads me to believe we may be up mark or 11-10 mark.
Yeah, we'll have to see
yeah,
how things go.
But and how about Clancy's having himself a day?
Yes.
That's a hat trick for the junior out of Malvern Prep.
Hat trick in the first quarter. That's he's looking to have a great day. Take a look at this shot here. He does bring it around from X and then is able to sneak it in. He actually used that sliding defense slide and pick him up, and he snuck it right in through their legs.
My mistake, just 2 so far for Clancy. That's a big takeaway and a big goal towards the end of the first quarter. Clancy's second goal, big win again by Witzel, but he threw it into no man's land. But that's 3 in a row by Witzel now in the faceoff wins.
Yeah, Bucknell has got to capitalize on those wins, those faceoff wins, and maintain possession and keep it going. Coach Federaco was talking about stopping from having a run. Bucknell needs to get a run. They need to get a couple of points going here, not one, but.
Need to get a quick shot here. Like to get one at the end of the quarter. There's our first flags of the game. Let's see if they can score. They get it inside. Shot off the mark by O'Hara. And that was close, but we're going to have a man-up opportunity for the Bison to begin the second quarter. Things are heating up here in Lewisburg on a chilly spring afternoon. When we come back, it's the second quarter of men's lacrosse for the Patriot League.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
At Bucknell, there is only one way to gear up for college at prices any Bison can appreciate. Shop at Office Depot Office Max, the official office product of Bucknell Athletics.
So the penalty will go against Reeves Klipstein for Army, and here it comes right there. The long pole looks like a shot to the head.
Yeah, that's a little bone-jarring shot there. I don't know if I need to say it, but that's illegal. Yeah. You can hit some players. There is some body contact. You're seeing it happen out here. But when you go above the shoulders, the refs are going to call that every day. You know, concussions are a big buzzword in athletics nowadays, but that gets on borderline dangerous right there.
So an opportunity for Bucknell. They gave up 4 goals to the Black Knights in that first quarter. They trail by 2, so most of that quarter owned by Army, but now a chance for their 9th goal of the season for Bucknell on the man-up opportunity.
They're starting off in a 1-3-2 set. And they bring it around and rotate it into a 3-3.
Army doesn't have many weaknesses on this team, but they're just 5th in goals against when it comes up to man down. Make that another one. Quinn Collison out in front. A big man-up goal for the Bison.
Well, they need that, as you can hear. That gets the momentum going. That's exciting for a team. You know, of course, they've got a little advantage, but we get this movement here. Nice feed. He was number 42 was in the perfect place to catch that ball, to catch that feed, and just put it right behind the goalie. That's one of the harder stops for a goalie to make. The ball's on one side, it gets fed straight across the field. He's not sure where the shooter is coming from. All of a sudden, the shooter has that ball, and the shooter just puts it right in. That was executed perfectly by Bucknell. They need to do that all day.
And Will Sands with another assist. He's racking them up. 35 on the season. Ground ball. Gilroy's one of the best. Number 77, he's out of Canada. It's picked up, and here come the Cadets. They have a transition opportunity, but Bucknell gets back. And time now for the Black Knights to set up the offense.
And right here, I mean, the Black Knights have 3 attackmen out on the field, and Bucknell's defense was more about getting into position. I would think that they would look to capitalize on that and maybe, swarm around a little more on the Black Knights offense. Got another
ground ball
opportunity here.
Yeah, picked up by Army. Coach Federico wanted some kind of penalty call. He has his hands up in the air. No penalty call. Here we go for Army. Already with 4 goals in the game.
Now, Bob, you've mentioned both of the head coaches a couple of times here. These guys are very knowledgeable. In talking with them earlier this week, great conversation to have with them. They both know the game. They've been around the game for a long time.
Oh, one of the nation's best, Cole Johnson, finds the back of the net. 19th goal of the season. Oh, they're going to wave it off.
Not sure if they're waving off that.
Well, let's see where the official's coming over. Maybe we can pick up some sound.
I think something happened.
Nope.
I believe they had some kind of scuffle after the point there. So the refs, they actually waved off the face-off and awarded the ball right to Bucknell. So yeah, I believe that goal still stands, correct?
No, they did not put it up on the board. So the goal's taken out. They did add the goal. 5-3. So the goal counts, Bucknell ball. No face-off, and O'Brien with a turnover. Here come the Cadets and the Black Knights of Army on the transition. Looking to score quickly. Johnson out in front, knocked down. Called in the crease. Bucknell ball.
It'll be interesting to see if Bucknell wants to keep pushing, or get a little bit of slow grind. Try to grind down the Army Black Knights. That was a perfect desperation pass right there. Just about to fall out of bounds, and that was actually a pretty good pass.
Army's doing a nice job on the ride this afternoon, causing all kinds of problems for Bucknell on their clear, but Bucknell now has time.
Yeah, Bucknell's looking for those opportunities, looking for the seams. And Army's defense getting some movement around on the crease here. Oh. Bob, a simple drop pass like that will kind of break up your momentum. You really got to make sure that at this level, every pass is caught. The ball movement can continue. Just like that. Nice feed right to a a shooter as he's moving in towards the crease. Just bounced a little bit too soon, a little bit too high.
Malice has it, brings it out in front. Sands with room, bounces it through and up and under. Will Sands with a big goal.
That was a big goal, and it's great to see. I love those goals when they have the ball back at X and they're able to come around and they blow through their defenseman right on the stick. Able to put that in. I believe he also shot right on the ground, right in front of the goalie's feet. Let's take a look here. See, number 22 gets the ball back at X, starts bringing the ball up, and is able to just bounce the ball. I mean, that's a smart shooter right there. He knows where he can put the ball. Look at how far out in front of the crease he bounced that ball. Any further, it would have just gone right over the top. So that's a smart, skilled, patient shooter.
Young youth lacrosse players, watch Will Sands. We always talk about shoot low, bounce, use the turf, and he just that. He got a bounce over the smaller goalie, and it went in.
Yes, it was perfect.
Face-off win. Shot, and it goes through for a goal. Great job by Dan Graber, the senior out of Glen Head, New York, 5th goal of the season.
Now you see that was a great shot, an unfortunate move for the goalie, because he actually did make the save, but since he didn't catch, you'll see on the goalie here, he actually makes the save initially and then loses the ball, and then the ball drops into the net. What was the ref? What was the official talking about there?
Well, there's actually a penalty.
We got a penalty?
Yeah, Graber picked up an unsportsmanlike penalty, number 99. Right there, he's going to sit in the box, I think, for a minute.
Well, and Bucknell is going to go man up again. Hopefully they can capitalize on this like they did on their previous penalty.
So the 6th goal for Army goes in off the faceoff. Graber picks up the penalty. He gets an unassisted goal. Bucknell, though, has shown that they can keep coming back. They just haven't had the lead yet.
Yes.
But it's only been a 2-goal lead all game. So let's see if we can find out what that penalty was. It sounded like, to me, it was unsportsmanlike, and Bucknell gets a man-up opportunity.
All right, well, it looks like Bucknell started in a custom set, and then they went into a 1-3-2 here, moving the ball around up top, trying to gauge the defense. It looks like they've got number 22, Will Sands, just standing back at X, and what that does is that actually creates a 5-on-4 situation right in front of the crease, which will open up more of that space for some nice shooting lanes. It looks like Bucknell, they're going to use the whole time on this penalty as much as they can.
Yeah.
They're going to try to tire down the defense. Also, by having Will back there at X, any shot that they do take, he's most likely going to help them maintain possession, and we've got another flag.
So against Army, I don't think they let him come back in. And when you, in Division I, you can bring it right back in any lacrosse, and it's a quick whistle. No, it's. Referee's coming over to the table. A box warning. We'll have to check out what the play is. There's still a man up, so now it's a 2-man advantage?
Now we've got a 2-man advantage here.
Very unusual.
Yeah, Bucknell started in that same set. They went back to a 1-3-2.
So there's
now one player was released. Yep. He just came down from the midfield line.
So the unsportsmanlike is released. That could be a delay of game or some kind of call like that. I'll check once they
we'll have to get clarification
update the
on what
stats.
that was.
Yeah, but still now a man-up opportunity for Bucknell. They need to score to stay back in this one.
I say either way, regardless of what the penalty is, Bucknell needs to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
They've got to move the ball around like they are. Again, they're trying to put it on the ground.
Great stop by Barreto. He has great vision in the goal.
Yeah, to have the defenseman right there, essentially screening you, and still make that kind of a save is that's a great goalie. That's somebody. That's long practice hours out on the field. That's working with coaches, working with players.
So, great defensive stop by Army. They kill off the two-man up.
And we're back to even strength.
And we're back to even strength. Thank you, Bob. Yes, we are. So an opportunity goes down as a 0 for the Bison. Couldn't get a shot into the goal. They did get a couple shots off, but that's about it. Inside shot, blocked.
Nice save.
And a flag. So the shot on the inside taken by Gunnar Miller, and he was hit near the head, I think. We'll still get it again.
Yes, yeah, he was hit right, right after he took that shot. It was a great save by the goalie, but that was unfortunate for Bucknell.
So Chiappa gets the penalty for Bucknell. Should be a 30-second penalty, and it is. So a man-up opportunity now for Army.
Now, I will say this, Bob. When teams are used to playing zone defense, and they play a lot of zone style defense, however the coach sets up their zone set, playing man down, I believe, is a little bit easier.
Okay, but it's a 1-minute penalty. Illegal body check. So a minute penalty for Army. This is where the defense needs to come up for Bucknell. Come up huge. Right inside the feed, off the mark. Cole Johnson was trying to find Austin Colvin, and Colvin couldn't pull it down. So now an opportunity here for Bucknell to kill off the penalty.
Yes.
And keep this a 2-goal deficit.
I'll tell you, there is a lot of action going on down here on the sidelines
is.
between the two. I got a little distracted there. I apologize. I'm back now, but there was a lot of action going on right down here in the between the two benches.
And staying in the box and
yes,
the penalty area and stuff like that out in front. But on the field, Reed Malice has it. Sophomore. Still a lot of time for Bucknell to get in this one. They trailed Loyola last week, but came back and forced overtime, and then won it in double overtime. So they can do it for Bucknell. Into Sands in the X.
I know he's looking for number 88. Number 88 has been playing on the crease for most of today and has been shut off. There was a nice little behind the back shot by number 5, I believe it is. Yeah, number 6.
Yeah, O'Brien.
Yeah, he took a nice little behind the back shot. I think that was more out of desperation because he was already at goal line extended.
Renault, big stop.
I'd say that was a big stop. It was also like a precision shot too, because that shot went right to the offside of the goalie. So that was good for both of them. A nice shot. Unfortunately, it didn't go in because it was a great save.
Three saves for Barreto in the net. 5 for Klipstein as that shot goes off the mark.
Just a little wide on that one.
Under 7 to play. First half action here from Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Patriot League Men's Lacrosse, the 8-1 Army Black Knights, ranked number 7th in the country, taking on Bucknell. With the win, Army can clinch a playoff spot. Bucknell needs to stay in that race.
So yeah,
at 2-3, but they do have 2 wins over Loyola and Boston already.
Yeah, they needed a win in order to extend their season, as we said at the start of the broadcast. Bucknell needs a win, and Army would really like to have it.
Army's only lost to Rutgers. Second game of the year. Shot, goal. Somebody better check Connor Clancy, because he's got a hat trick now. That's 3 goals for the junior.
That was textbook ball movement all around the outside. all the way through. Each player for the Black Knights were in exactly where they needed to be. You see one pass, two pass, and another one, three pass. There's four guys, unselfish, get it to the shooter that's in the best position. Right here, number 28 knew that he was going to feed it before he even caught the ball. That's a smart player. He knew, I'm going to get the ball, and I got one more to make a pass to, and that guy's putting the ball in the net. So that's how an offensive squad works together.
Clancy came in with 10 goals. He has 13 now. Again, he switched from a midi where he played last season. He's on attack this year. And another win. Off the faceoff by Graber.
Now Army seems, they know they've got numbers, so they're going to attack a little bit, and they decide to
that was one of the
out.
keys to the game, right, Coach?
Yes.
For Bucknell, stop the Army transition.
Yes. Unfortunately, it hasn't gone exactly as planned for them today. But there's still a lot of lacrosse going. We've got some time here. I mean, they're only down by 3 points. We saw in the women's Bucknell game just a couple of days ago, I think they were down by 6, and they came back with unfortunately, it was a 13-14 loss, but they had 9 seconds left in the game. So if the Bucknell men's team has the same kind of discipline that the Bucknell women's team has, they could bring this back. They could do it.
Army with 17 shots today. Army a very physical team, and Coach Federaca talked about that yesterday. They have to play a little physical themselves to match them. Good dodge. The shot off the mark.
Now, Bob, right there, that was a more unselfish play by the Army Black Knights. I missed exactly which player it was, but broke in, got around his man, and then instead of taking the shot, is making the feed. So
Lipstein comes out. He's ripped down. And it goes over to Bucknell. No flag on that.
Once the goalie comes out of the crease, he's just like every other field player. So, there's no special red shirt status or anything that's given to the goalies when they come out of the crease. So he took a chance, went out there, got the ball. I do like that athletic, aggressive play from the goalie. Went out, took the ball, get the ball going the other direction, and that's what we've got now. Bucknell on offense.
So the Bison making their changes at the minis. The attacks pretty much stay the same. Sands, Collison, O'Hara in their 99% of the game. It's the minis that change out a lot.
One of the keys to that is the attack is able to develop a rhythm, a sixth sense, if you will, so that they know where each other is going to be and when they need to be there. If you can have an attack squad, 3 guys working as a squad, that's a great thing. Unfortunately, what just happened
is Malice came around the goal and no one was there when the shot was taken.
Yeah, when he took the shot, unfortunately, number 2, 22, Will Sands was tied up by his defenseman, and his defenseman just kind of cut him off and was able to go back. And so Army comes up with the ball and the possession.
So Avery Littlejohn has it. Out of Maryland, he gives it up, and they're working around Army. 3-goal lead, under 3 to play in the first half here in Lewisburg.
Avery Littlejohn, I wonder how he got that number on his jersey. You don't see too many of those, do you?
Zeros?
Zeros.
No.
No,
not at all.
Wonder if there's some history with that. A lot of high school players, they want the same number all the way through all 4 years. College players that get their number. And I wonder if he came in and said, I want to be number 0.
Army last year, 10-7 overall. They lost in the finals to Loyola. Loyola got the automatic berth into this NCAA, and you would think Army, with 3 games left after this, has a good chance of making the tournament as well. But it's going to be a tough Patriot League tournament. Loyola, Bucknell, and Boston in there as well. Timeout on the field, 1:57 remaining. We'll take a timeout ourselves. It's the Black Knights over the Bison, 7-4. How about some saves from Klipstein?
These are all great saves. At one end, we're seeing Bucknell shoot on the ground. Army seems to be putting a lot above the waist. So, yeah, the Bucknell goalie has been doing a fantastic job. He's been doing a fantastic job getting a stick out in front of the ball, quick body movement. I'll tell you, these shots are not moving slow. These are the fastest thing out there, and so that goalie has to be faster than those shots. So, even though the scoreboard may say one thing, that Bucknell goalie is doing a great job in there.
13 shots on goal for Army, 7 goals in, 6 saves. 5 of those you saw right there for Christian Klipstein, the Patriot League goalie of the week. And he's going to have to come up huge now at the end of this half, not to give up another one to the Black Knights. And you don't want to go down 4.
Yeah, like we had mentioned before, if the lead gets to be a little too much, that can start being kind of demoralizing. So,
well, that's a big turnover for the Black Knights. Minute 22 left. Both teams have 1 timeout left, so there's still time if Coach Federico wants to call it to set up a play. They'll probably carry this all the way down, Bob. You would think towards the end of the second quarter.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's got his personnel out there that he wants, making one other substitution, and they're going to look to take advantage of this last minute of play.
Well, the Bucknell sidelines making a lot of noise, encouraging their team to get a goal back. Collison, number 42, has 2 goals on the day so far for Bucknell. O'Brien has 1, and Will Sands has 1. Who's going to get the goal in now towards the end of the half? On the opposite side, Barreto, one of the top goalies in the country. 3 saves on 7 shots.
Bucknell is trying to get inside there as much as they can. Trying to work inside.
Army doing a nice job of the man-to-man ride.
Yeah, very nice job. Not showing any signs of slowing down. They are still playing aggressive defense.
Under 10. Great double team. Shot went off the mark, saved Barreto, and that's how we're going to end this half. So the Black Knights have come to Lewisburg with a purpose. The 7th-ranked team has a 3-goal lead over the Bison of Bucknell. When Bob and I return, we'll have a halftime package, and we'll have you some highlights and stats. 7-4 Army at the half.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
Central Susquehanna Youth Lacrosse League on the field for a little bit of halftime entertainment. Scoreboard reads 7-4 Army Black Knights. Last night on the Fox 56 Sports Show, Aaron Dugan had an opportunity to talk to some bowlers down here in the Central Susquehanna Valley from Shikellamy. They're headed to nationals and they're state champs. Here's Aaron.
A moment of a lifetime.
The Shikellamy girls bowling team reached the pinnacle of their sport last weekend, a Pennsylvania State High School Bowling Championship.
Oh, well, a lot of emotion in that. I mean, we basically went through qualifying. It was up and down between us and Muhlenberg, back and forth between first and second place in the standings all the way. They were actually ahead of us going into the last Baker game in qualifying, and we overtook them in the last Baker game to get the top seed, which was important because then we got an automatic bid into the championship match, and they had to work their way up through the bracket. So it was important, a lot of emotion there. And they actually got us down in the championship match, the first game, and we were almost out of it in the second game. And Ashley Workman struck in the 9th, and then, of course, Kristen threw a couple strikes in the 10th to pull the game out. And then we kind of built momentum and, struck a whole bunch of frames to start out the next game and got ahead.
We were a little rattled because we lost the first game, but we still had another chance because it's best out of 3 in the Baker games. And we ended up winning just by 7 pins. We were a little scared, but as soon as we won, we knew we got it, and then we proceeded to the 3rd game, and we blew them out, and we won the state title.
Even more exciting than winning a state title, the team automatically qualified for just the second annual U.S. High School Bowling National Championships, held June 24th and 25th in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Well, it's going to be a lot of practice.
A lot of practice. We're all trying to get ready for nationals. We're taking I think a couple weeks off before we start practicing again, and I think it's going to be good. I think I'm planning on doing my best. And if it works, it works, but
We're going to take it one ball at a time.
One ball at a time, and then it's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I'm really ready to go.
Well, I've been bowling for like 12 years. I like it because it's competition and it's competitive. I like the competitive edge it gives.
I've also been bowling for 12 years. Getting to this point is really good. Feels really good knowing that you accomplished something, and
All the hard work paid off.
it does. The hard work does pay off.
This is only the second year that they've had a nationals, so we're really excited because none of the Shikellamy team has ever gone to nationals. We practice around for team practice like twice a week, and individually we come in whenever we want to. And I've been bowling for about 14 years.
We're talking about it all the time. Teachers are asking us in school about it and everything. We're trying to do our best to fundraise for it. It's a great opportunity, and we're all glad to go.
Ashley Wortman, the only senior on the team, says she'll never forget not only the success the team had this season, but just how much fun they had along the way.
I'm making a lot of memories. This has got to be one of the best years in the bowling team, not only winning states, but going to nationals for the singles event and the team event. You know, you just have so many emotions and so many memories that you will be making on this journey.
Coach Durr is taking over head coaching duties for longtime coach Bill Snyder.
Well, it's not official yet. I mean, we have to go through the process, but yeah, I'm excited to continue the tradition. It's a lot to live up to, following in his footsteps. You know, we've had a pretty successful team over the last while. So, Bill was the head coach for 11 years, and he had been on the staff for about 20. This was Coach Snyder's last season, you know, as head coach of the team. There was a lot of emotion all the way around. I mean, they really wanted to win it for him and, you know, for themselves as well.
Congratulations, and the costs are high for the team to head to nationals in Tennessee, so a GoFundMe page has been set up for the girls. If you'd like to help out, visit GoFundMe.com and just search for Shikellamy Bowlers.
Back at Christy Matheson Stadium in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, men's Patriot League lacrosse. The 7th-ranked Army Black Knights lead Bucknell by 3, 7-4. Bob-eyed Coach Bob Vanderhayden back. Let's take a look at some highlights. 11 goals overall scored in that first half, and it was Army who took a 2-0 lead. David Sims on even straight scores. And then out front, Avery Littlejohn. And a big save by Klipstein. Bucknell then tried to get back into it with O'Brien. And then another goal right there by Clancy. That was 2 in the first quarter. Great feed from Will Sands to Collison. Sands bounces it through for a goal. And Klipstein somehow, that went around him. And hard hitting started to pick up.
Yeah, Army came right out, as you saw in those first couple, just fought to get the ball in the back of the net. Bucknell still came back. It seems that Bucknell has a little more success, as you just saw, when they move the Army goalie. If they can get him to move, then they can put it in the 5-hole or above his head. They got to get him to move. So whether that's you know, quick ball movement from one player to another or whatever it may be, they got to get that goalie to move out of the way. We got some halftime stats here. As you can see, the shots on goal are very close, but the difference is up on the scoreboard.
We talked about how important the face-offs were. What do you see from that? 6 of 10, Bucknell 4 of 10. Not too bad, other than the one goal scored off the face-off. It's been pretty even. It's been pretty even, yes, and you also see in that man up. Unfortunately, you know,
the momentum, I don't think, has gone one way or the other completely. You know, teams may have had possession for a little while. It seems to be a back and forth game, which is good to watch. You don't want to watch a blowout either way. So both of these teams being able to go out and do something is a good thing. It looks to me, and I would bet that Coach Federaca and Bucknell Bison are going to play a little bit harder defense, because as we went through those highlights there, I noticed that the Bucknell defense, they had slides that were coming, but they were just a little too late. And they weren't late because they were being held up. It may have just been that they started that slide too late. So I would bet that when they were in the locker room talking during halftime, I bet that Coach Federaca was saying something about it. We got to bring those slides a little bit sooner, a little bit quicker to get there and beat the Army shots. There's Coach Federaca right there.
So this is the 42nd meeting between these two teams. First meeting was back in 1979. Army won by 4. And let's see now, Bucknell can play off of the face-off. Witzel's done a decent job, and Bucknell comes up with it. And a shot saved by Burrito, almost rolls in. No signal from the referee. They're going to say a save. Yeah. Boy, a lucky bounce there for the Black Knights.
Very lucky, because that ball just landed and was right at the goal line. So you saw one of the Army defensemen diving in there to help with that save. So
on that ride, Bucknell is going to pick up a penalty on the far side. So there is a flag down. So free opportunity, if you say, for Army, because they're going to get the ball back on the man up. If they score, doesn't matter.
Here comes that save. He lost the ball. It's right here by the goal line, and you see the diving play by long stick defenseman for Army to make sure that ball did not accidentally roll back into the goal. A team effort on that save. That's what lacrosse is about. It's a team sport all the way through.
Another shot on goal by Army. Goes off the mark. That was Nate Jones out of Alexandria, Virginia, the 5'10 sophomore. And that is going to give us the flag.
All right, so let's see how the Bucknell defense comes out. He's early in the third quarter. They've already got a man down coming against him.
30-second hold. I didn't get a number who that was called on for the Bison. Oh, number, it looks like 88, Connor O'Hara. He was in the box. So man-up opportunity. No scores yet by either team on the man-up. Let's see if Army can break that string. Shot out in front. Off the mark. That was Austin Colvin. Deep shot.
Nice save.
Saved by Klipstein. Ted Glessner out of Danville, California. And Bucknell has it. They can kill off this penalty. Let's see if this gets them going. Coach Federac is jumping up and down with his team, trying to get them angry. See if they can get back into this game, down 7-4.
Yep, looks like we're back to even strength now. So, yeah, Bucknell, that was a good move for them. They were able to kill that penalty and bring the ball up, maintain possession. Now let's see if they can get something going offensively. You see Army is still playing, they're playing an aggressive man-to-man defense here. Play man-to-man way outside the box. I tell you, when a defense is playing man-to-man that far out, that means they've got confidence, because they're not worried about you beating them way outside and then getting any kind of isolation play and penetration. They're going to challenge you out on your turf, so to speak.
Malice on the short stick didn't have an opportunity, and really looking for the matchup here, because Sands is drawing the long stick, and so is O'Hara, and I would think O'Brien too. So you're going to find the matchup.
Yeah, number 12, the long stick defender for Army has got number 22. So they definitely are trying to shut him out and take him out of the game. But he gets it right there. He's got another assist. So Will Sands had another assist, fed that right in. I think it was number 42, right?
Collison, hat trick for him.
Yes. That's what he's looking to do. We talked about at the beginning of the game. You know, Will Sands has a lot of assists, a lot more assists. He's definitely going to help out his team. Here's a place. He had the ball, and as he pulled around, he pulled his defenseman out. That created the opportunity for number 42, who could get some penetration in towards the crease there, and was able to put the ball right over top of the Army goalie.
Quinn Collison, 3 goals today, 11 on the season. Bucknell back into it. First goal of the third quarter. Let's see if that gets them rolling. Now down just 2. Big win by Bucknell. Can he get it? He can't get the ground ball.
They're still fighting.
Over to Army.
So that wound up coming up Army. Fighting through, so let's see if Army's going to use their disciplined offense. Yep, let's see if Bucknell comes and plays a little more aggressive on this now, defensively.
Both coaches work on the referees this afternoon. I know Coach Federaca didn't like that call right in front of him. He gave the ball back to the Black Knights, but Coach Aberigi also a little disgruntled with the referees. Both in their 12th season in Patriot League action. Coach Federaki, as saw there, took over from the longtime mentor Sid Jamison back in 2006. So only 2 coaches in Bucknell's 46-year history.
That's impressive.
Army, meantime, this is their 100th year of lacrosse. A long history for the Cadets out of West Point. This is Clancy has it. Shot by Little John, saved Clipstein.
And immediately a nice outlet pass all the way up to the midfield. Let's see, Bucknell has actually got numbers here. Let's see if they take advantage of it. Oh, and unfortunately they could not make that second fast break pass.
Surdick got his long stick in.
Yeah, he's got his long stick in there. He's able to disrupt that. And now Army, it looks to me like Bucknell's defense is playing a little more aggressive on the ball. I want to see if this continues. It may have just been the past couple of Army possessions, but yeah, they're still holding back a little bit here. They're in their set. They're playing their game.
Looks like a 1-3-2 offense.
Getting closer to 1-4-1.
1-4 now.
Yeah, 1-4-1. They've got 2 guys in on the crease there. So for Army,
trying to get a little screen.
They're playing more.
There's a flag.
There's a penalty, yes.
Yep. They're getting a little more physical, maybe trying to rev them up. That was Grayson Helm out of Wild Missing, who's going to pick up the penalty. So a free chance now for Black Knights. Out in front. Another flag comes in.
Another flag right before that shot.
Well, let's see what the calls are. Referees are going to talk to one another. We'll try to get some sound on it.
I'll tell you, I talked to these 3 officials before the game, and I've got a lot of respect for officials to do what they do there. So let's see what.
Let's see if he comes over and makes the call.
Hey, who's our short set? Hey, is there 2 penalties or what? We have 2 penalties, both on white. We have 9 white for late hit. 1 minute. We have a conduct foul on the Bucknell bench. The in-home will serve 42. Number 42 will serve.
What was the conduct?
30 seconds.
Patrick.
1 minute and a 30 seconds.
Can you explain to me what the conduct was?
Now, Coach Federaca there is asking for what the conduct was. So explain that a little bit to our viewers. The in-home player is a player that's named on the roster. It's usually one of your starting attackmen. Oh, here's a penalty out on the field. Yeah, you can kind of see when he was coming in, when that player number 9 was coming in to play defense, he was not going for the ball. So it made it kind of easy for, not easy for the officials, but a little more blatant about where the penalty was right there. He was going for the body, going for the player, not going for the ball. Now that in-home player that is now serving a penalty that was committed by the Bucknell bench. You obviously can't put the whole bench in the. You can't put the whole Bucknell bench in the penalty box. So there's one player that's designated as an in-home player, and that player is kind of the designated penalty server. if the coach gets a penalty, or
so they killed off the first penalty, Bob.
Okay.
Now the minute penalty comes in, and it's a save off the crossbar. Still Army ball. Under a minute now in the one more penalty. 6 on 5. Shot, score, Army.
You'll see in the replay that Army was able to get some penetration, get somebody open right in on the crease. In a man-down situation, that's a really tough player to defend. You can see him right here. I think it's number 36. See, as the attention turns, as the attention for the midfielders on defense turns up to the ball, number 36 found himself open with room. And that slide coming from the long stick, number 19, it wasn't there. It wasn't his fault. He was a little bit off. That's a tough break for Bucknell's defense there.
Austin Colvin picks up his 3rd goal of the season, his 1st of the afternoon, and it's back to a 3-goal lead for Army. On a 2-man penalty, Army was able to at least get 1 goal in that, and now they're going to retain possession. Graber has it.
That's a big call for Army right there, to come off of that kind of a goal where, it becomes a little demoralizing for Bucknell. So let's see if Bucknell can pull it together here. Looks like we are full strength now. Here's the other. We are full strength, yep.
So 6 on 6, Army with another chance. This time to get the largest lead of the afternoon, which would be 4. Bucknell needs a defensive stop. They're letting their run happen. Coach Federaca talked about that run for Army. We're starting to get into that field. Momentum definitely on the side of the Black Knights.
Yes. And that run doesn't have to be fast, because, if Army can possess the ball, which they've been able to do, and they can take some time off of the clock with their possessions, that really starts pushing the Bucknell team to have to come up and make something happen. So yeah, Bucknell's got to come up with a big defensive stop here. Get the ball up the other end of the field relatively quick and start putting some points up on the board. They've got to get the momentum back here.
3rd quarter action here in the Patriot League. 7th ranked Army, 8-1 overall, undefeated Patriot League play. Helm being held, no penalty. Coach Federaca can't believe that. Now it's getting a little rough.
Yeah, the ref.
Interference call.
Okay.
So Bucknell ball.
Yeah, as you just saw right there, things can start to get out of control pretty quick. So the officials, they're out there to keep things under control, but they are going to let the players play. So men's lacrosse it's rough. It's a rough sport. This isn't ping pong. This isn't chess. This is men's lacrosse. So we'll get a little rough.
Hey, clear the box for me, guys. Let's go, boy, outside the box.
The ref clearing out the box, and got to keep all your players in. That Bucknell has already had a penalty called on the box, so they have to be careful. On the field, trying to set up the matchup they want. Stands again, drawing that long stick. He's done that all afternoon.
Yeah. Number 12 for Army, Johnny Surdick. He's got the assignment. He needs to cover number 22. He hasn't let him go all day. You see right there, even though.
How about Tommy Smith? Average name, but a better shot. Goal, Bucknell, for number 14, the sophomore out of Lebanon, New Jersey.
Pretty sure he put this one in on the ground as well. Let's take a look at this. Made it look like it was high, but then, yeah, just threw it right in the 5-hole again. It's an Army goal. It's a great goal. He just unfortunately couldn't get his stick all the way down in time.
So it's back to a 2-goal deficit. The Bison, though, still in this one. Plenty of time. Just 5:40 left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they keep coming back. They keep coming back. So You can't count them out.
Graber again, he came in averaging 66% on his face-offs. He wins another big one there. 9 of 14 is Graber on the face-offs, and it leads to an Army goal.
Now, even though Army was making their substitutions there, that was like a classic transition goal, because that Army player was just coming in, and Bucknell may have been lulled into thinking, oh, they're just making their substitutions. If you watch this, as he starts coming and cutting right down from the middle of the field, you see here, man back at X, he just saw him coming in, and a lot of the white defense are standing flat-footed, unfortunately.
Anthony George, a freshman out of Indiana, picks up his second goal of the season. He gets a lot of head pats and shakes, hands shakes. First goal of the afternoon for the freshman. And it's back to a 3-goal lead. So Bucknell has 6 goals on the board, Bob. Beretta only gives up just over 6 goals per game. So you think Army's in a real good spot here now. Up 3. But Bucknell has to dig deep, get 3 more goals. Now,
and they could do it. They're fighting for this face-off.
They need a face-off. They need possession.
To come up with it.
Picked up by the long stick. They give it back to Moretto. He'll set up the clear.
Yep.
Now let's see if Bucknell's big thing people talk about is that 10-man ride.
A 10-man ride,
but
yes.
I don't think they're doing it here, but they haven't had success with it this year. But Coach Federac has been using it for 12 years since he's been here.
Well, I was talking with Coach Federac earlier this week about that, about the 10-man ride, and one of the advantages of having the reputation of using that is it forces your opponent to spend time during practice during the week to get ready for it. So he did mention that it's an option that they have, but they don't always run it. So we'll be looking for it here today. In a 10-man ride, each of the riding players go out and pick up a clearing player. So the goalie actually gets active in there and winds up picking up an attackman. Defenseman goes up, covers a midfielder. Midfielder moves up and covers another attackman. So it is a unique situation that teams, if they don't normally have to deal with it, they've got to spend practice time.
Flag down on the shot. Little John got lit up.
Defense came out very aggressive on that.
Cross check.
Yeah, very aggressive on this. You'll see just up, here it is. Again, when you're coming in as a defenseman and you're going right for the body and your stick is down, either pointed towards the ground, the officials can see that one's a penalty. And 8 or 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to wind up calling that. As a defensive player going out to pick up a shooter, right before he's taking the shot, you've got to put the head of your stick on the head of his stick somehow. You've got to make sure that your defensive stick, your defensive play, that you're making a motion to go towards the ball and take that away from the shooter. Now, unfortunately, Bucknell has to deal with a man down, and they're 2 men down. We've got 2 Bucknell players in the box here. Again, another 6-on-4 situation for Army, and they wind up putting a point up on the board during that. That really hurts the mental status of a team. When you have that, and it was unnecessary. If Bucknell's player came out and played the stick, would have had it. Here's the shot on this man up, double man up situation.
So Cole Johnson off the left hand picks up a goal on the man up. So that is his second of the afternoon. Now we're still a man down on the faceoff. One of the calls was against Kazar, number 31. I think that was on the hit on the shooter. I don't know what the other penalty was.
Yeah, one of those penalties slipped right by us. But
yeah, it might be an unsportsmanlike conduct coming through. So a man up opportunity still now on the faceoff.
unfortunately for a defense, when you're 2 men down, that opens up many more shooting lanes for the offense, and Army was just able to capitalize on that easily. Now Army has, they've got to win a faceoff with a 2-on-3 situation. Not an easy thing to do.
Sam Hahn took the face-off, number 26 for Bucknell. A change from Jared Witzel, who's been doing it most of the afternoon. And again, Army comes up with the possession, and they are a man up. So the biggest lead of the afternoon for the Black Knights is 4. They can add to that right now.
Yeah, Bucknell's got to play smart defense. A great save by the goalie there. You saw when the defensive player was coming up, instead of just going right towards that offensive Army shooter, he did clear out of the way a little bit. He obviously didn't want to get another penalty, and he also wanted to help his goalie out by letting his goalie see the ball.
So Bucknell kills off that penalty, and now they need to clear. They had a tough time this afternoon.
They've got to get this clear, get the ball up over the midfield line.
And they do. They need to get it in the box now in the 30 seconds. All they have to do is touch in the box, and he does.
Yep,
so
he just does.
Yep, Bucknell flag. Bucknell is going to, Army, I think.
Army is getting a penalty here for being offsides.
Yes, thank you.
Army had only 2 men back. Now you'll see, since they've got the penalty, there's no sense in that player coming back and playing legally, so to speak. He's just going to play. So even though Army has a penalty on him, they're still kind of playing with that penalty.
Well, free chance here for Bucknell to cut into the 4-goal lead.
Yeah, this makes it a, even though it's even strength at the moment, it looks like Army is playing up with 1 player just because of that offsides call, and he went up saying it. So the ball comes out of bounds, and now I think the penalty will go into effect, and then
Sean O'Brien had the shot off the feed from Sands, so we'll have a penalty now against
1. Offside, 30 seconds.
Offsides, 30 seconds. So man up opportunity for Bucknell.
Bob, men's lacrosse can get very passionate, very intense, very quickly. And I'm watching right in front of us here, there's a Bucknell assistant coach that's running the box, as we say. And he's got his hands full, making sure the right guy goes out on the field in the right spot at the right time. Unfortunately for Army, their discipline broke down just a little bit, and one of their players, pulled back to play defense and went a little too far. So
Bucknell 1 for 2 on the man up chances this afternoon. They need to get another one here. They do.
And they do.
Shot, score, Bucknell. Reed Malice from outside gets it by Barreto. It makes it a 10-7 game with a minute 21 in the third.
That was good. Bucknell definitely needed that. Look right here. That was just a nice, hard, tough overhand shot. Nice and solid. You can see the goalie was a little bit screened there. He was peeking out around number 88. So, number 88, Connor, did a great job of kind of screening the goalie, and that shooter took advantage of it. Saw that the goalie was having a little bit of a difficult time picking him up, and knew this is the time to take that shot.
Oh, another face-off win for Graber.
Yeah, Army has been winning those, either right off the bat or they fight for it. So
I think that's a big difference now why the score is 10-7, because they're just winning face-off after face-off. He's 11 of 16.
Yes, even if, in this situation right now, Army has the ball. They brought it down their offensive end of the field. They're changing. They're getting the right people on the field. Bucknell has the right defensive players on the field. But if Bucknell even clears this, then they may want to change those players. So by losing that face-off, Bucknell essentially has defensive minded players out on the field, not necessarily the offensive-minded players that they'd like to be out there, so that they can, that midfield line can help add to the score on the scoreboard.
Okay, so Army now with an opportunity under 30 seconds to play. They're going to hold it for the last second shot. See if they can extend it up to a 4-goal lead, which they had in the third quarter.
Yeah, if they're smart and they're disciplined, they're going to wait till about 5 seconds left and then take the shot. Although they're moving it now, so let's see what happens.
Great job of the long
Nice interception.
stick. 6 seconds, still a chance for Bucknell. Can they get it in?
One more.
Oh, Sands tried to find O'Hara over the middle. He couldn't pull it in, and that's how it's going to end.
So close right there at the end.
So Army puts up a bunch of goals in that third, and they continue to have a 3-goal lead as we head into the fourth.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY, presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
Know how much you're spending and on what each and every month. Know you're on track with your bills and upcoming payments. Know you have an entire cheering section at PNC Bank with PNC Virtual Wallet. Get all the details at pnc.com/virtual wallet. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Bob-eyed, Bob Vanderheyden, Coach Van back in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Christy Matheson Stadium on a breezy, chilly spring afternoon, but great weather to play some lacrosse. At the half, Army led by 3. Each team scored 3 goals in that third quarter, and Army has a 3-goal lead going into the fourth. But this seems like Army has had the advantage all afternoon.
It does. It seems like Army has been the disciplined team. They're out there doing exactly what they want. They're all working together as a team. They came out aggressive. They maintained the same level of intensity right from the get-go.
Talked about the face-offs. In that third period, Graber was 6 of 7 on face-offs. So a change at the face-off for Bucknell. As Sam Hahn out of Connecticut takes over against Graber, and a big win for the Bison. Sands can't dodge his long stick again. Surdick has had Sands all afternoon. They're probably making dinner plans by now because they have been locked up on every play.
Yeah, they've been spending a lot of time out there together, but that's what happens when you're that kind of a player. When you're that offensive player that you're scouted, the week before, and everybody on the opposing team knows that's the guy. Well, you take your number 12 on defense, and you just have him lock Sands off.
Tom Smith took the shot, went off the mark, went out of bounds.
Well, but they're saying that he stepped inside the crease, and so that's why, yeah. Ball given over to Army. Army's now clearing.
Now, here's the 10-man ride.
Yes, yeah, you can see the Bucknell goalie is out to play one of the attackmen.
And Coach Abarisi said they practiced this a little bit.
He did. He said that he was ready.
Oh, they want offsides. Bucknell's sideline going nuts.
They will get offsides. There it is. There you go. That was one of the things that Coach Federaca was talking about, was that when they use the 10-man ride, it's not necessarily to lock off all of the other players. That is what the 10-man ride is designed to do, but that's not exactly why he's using it. He's using it to make the other team have to focus and have to think about, where's my open man? Where's my open man? And in that case, the Army team was thinking so much about where's my open man that they forgot, oh yeah, the middle of the field, I can't go over that line.
Yeah.
So it was almost like the 10-man ride in that instance was used as a distraction to throw Army off of their game.
Shot taken by Malice. He was knocked down, no call. But Bucknell retains the possession. They need to get a bunch of goals themselves. That's what they need. They need to get a little momentum on their side.
Yeah, they've got to start a little run here. They've got to get the ball around. There it goes back to Will Sands.
Flag coming in.
Yep.
So this is going to go against Army.
Yep.
Free chance.
Shot. And there it is.
Goal. Sean O'Brien puts it in. One back for Bucknell. Down 2 now.
This is big. Like we had said, Bucknell is not out. You can't write him out. 2 points in lacrosse. Your team just comes together and rallies. You get a little bit of momentum. You can put 2 points back up on the board. So take a look at this shot. It comes right over his shoulder, and he could see that off stick side was the place to go. That shooter right here, number 6. As he came around and beat his defenseman, he knew exactly where to go with the ball, off stick side, and he just put it exactly where he wanted it. Unfortunately, The Army goalie wasn't able to get over to it quick enough.
On Graber on the faceoff. Last week, Army gave up 8 goals to Colgate. They won it 10-8. Graber picks it up. Had a couple ground balls in there and can't get it in. Into Bucknell.
Yeah, Bucknell just stuck with it, stuck with it.
That was some great stick work for Bucknell.
And a never give up attitude. That's what that long stick midi on the midfield line, the guys that go out there that are involved heavily with the faceoff, sometimes you'll take a long stick, like the defensive long sticks, and you'll put them on a midfield line. You're allowed to have 4 long sticks out on the field at one time for your team. So that long stick midfielder just did not give up. He kept playing all the way through. Every time that Army was just about to come up with a ball inside of their cross, he just kept swinging, and kept the pressure on. So he's gonna need to do that for the rest of the game.
Up now, Barreto with a huge save. 10-man ride out for Bucknell.
Yeah, Bucknell's
again.
showing that 10-man ride again. So let's see. Now it's up to Sands. He's got to get over there. They've got to get. Yep, they are all sliding.
Remember, it's just to get the 30 seconds. You could get a penalty or a violation against Army if they don't get it in that box, and there they step in.
Sure. Yep.
So Army gets the possession now. Let's see if Coach Federaca will go to a man-to-man or stay in the zone.
I really think that the Bucknell defense kind of goes without saying, but they've got to be a little more aggressive here. They've got to get some kind of a turnover. The goalie's got to come up with a big save. I'm sure the goalie would prefer that Bucknell just gets the turnover before the shot gets taken. But however they can stop the ball, they need to stop the ball, get the ball back, go the other direction.
Klipstein, the goalie, number 45 for Bucknell, 11 saves on 21 shots today. Barreto on the other side, 7 saves on 15 shots.
It looks like Army has now sent one player in to mess around on the crease.
Now I'm sure Bucknell's going to start looking for that possession clock. Hasn't been called yet this afternoon. The referees are looking at one another. And there it is. Possession clock is up. You have 30 seconds. Which isn't rolling, though.
I believe they
they started late.
They had 32
they got an extra
seconds.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
It was. So what you need to do is shoot or some kind of show something. Yeah, they get a shot. Possession clock still down to 15.
Yep. The other thing is that Army also needs to keep this inside of the box. I believe, yep, they're down to less than 10 seconds.
Cole Johnson has it. Picked up 2 goals today. Is 101. Turnover, Bucknell.
There we go.
Huge hit by Johnson. Flag comes in.
He pulls the flag. Yep.
Man up chance for Bucknell.
Well, this will be big. This will be big. I think Bucknell scored the last 2. Here comes his penalty. Unfortunately, this Bucknell player had 3 Black Knights right by him, and I think what the official was seeing on that particular hit was more of a defensive or defenseless hit. You're not allowed to hit the guy in the back, so you know, you can. It is a body-to-body game. It is a physical game, but you can't come up and just hit somebody in the back or where they don't know when you're coming from. Again, it's a physical game, but it's got to be played safe.
So Bucknell man up. So Bucknell man up. 2 for 3 today. They need one here to get this into a 1-goal game.
Key for them would be to get that goalie to move. If they can get the Army goalie to move, that'll make their shot go in a little bit easier. If they can line something up here, it looks like Will Sands is back at X. He's got the short stick on him now.
Shot picked up, score, number 88, Connor O'Hara out of New York.
He pulls a score within 1 point. This is huge. The Bucknell sidelines, the Bucknell bench is you can hear them. They're going crazy. The key to this goal was, again, that never say die. The goalie actually makes a save on the first. Pops out of number 42's stick, and following player was just able to be right there, pick the ball up, put the ball in the back of the net. Number 88, Connor
O'Hara. His first goal of the afternoon, his 24th on the season. None bigger than that on the year. 10-9 game, 9-24. Bucknell looking for a tie and try to get this one into overtime or win it in regulation, like they did against Loyola last week. Ground ball.
It looks like we are even strength now, so we're no longer in a man-up situation.
Right into Surdyk's hands, and now we're in the right again.
Oh.
Ball's going to go out of bounds.
And that one, there you go. Now Bucknell forced Army to make a bad pass. Ball just rolled. Oh, we have a player down in the field, though.
That's Graber. This could be
Ooh,
huge.
That's good.
I believe that's number 99, and it is the face-off guy.
And he's holding his ankle. That's
Yeah,
never
Dan
good.
Graber out of Glen Head, New York.
You don't like to see players get hurt. No.
Let's see. This could be a huge loss. He has done yeoman's work all season long. 66% off the face-offs. Today on the face-offs, he's done an awesome job. 14 of 20 opportunities, and he's limping off the field. Here's what the Bison have faced so far, and it's been a roller coaster of a season. Started 2-0, then went through a 4-game losing streak, then beat number 15 Boston at the time, lost to Villanova, and then beat number 17 Loyola last week in double overtime.
Double overtime has got to be huge because one overtime, you know, that gets you going. Double overtime, you're exhausted.
So there's what they have left. A couple of conference games in there, Lafayette and Lehigh, and looking for a playoff spot. Now they're just looking for the tying goal. It was 10-7, 2 in a row for Bucknell.
They're actually even strength out there on the field. There's
there's no penalty. Just Graber was shaken up. He is on the sideline, so we'll have to watch that if there's a face-off the rest of the game. Plenty of time for Bucknell.
We've got a lot of pushing and shoving going on right in the crease there.
How angry are the Bison? We know they're fired up, but Coach Federaca said they play better when they're angry. Well, they should be angry. They were down 10-7.
Yeah, there were 4 points behind at one point. So to come back and pull within one, like we had said earlier, don't write them out.
Great job on the defensive side. No flag.
No flags there. A lot of pressure by Bucknell. A lot of pressure. Ground
ball chance. Oh, great stick work on the backside. Still a ground ball.
Once again, I believe that was their long stick midfielder who's been taking a lot of face-offs. So that guy's a key player here.
Luke Munoz, number 19, had that. The junior for Bucknell. Long stick, but now Army has it in the possession box. Up just one. So now the possession clock comes into play. Will the referees put their hands up? They did last time, and Bucknell got a turnover.
The reason that they'll do that is so that a team doesn't just stall and run the clock out. They'll get to a point where they'll say, hey, you're leading up on the scoreboard. You can't just run around with the ball and not do anything. So the officials will kick that in. We'll look for the call from them. And that
turnover. Gilray pulls it in. They get it right back, Army does.
These are the kind of games that you like to go to. These are the kind of games that you like to watch. Teams that just won't give up. Teams that just keep grinding it out. They keep playing their game.
1 goal game last year, 7-6. 19 goals on the board already between the two teams. Gilray playing a little more physical. He's out of Ontario, but he went to Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, did number 77 for Bucknell.
The long stick defense for Bucknell, they are working very well together to cover either side of the crease. They're able to recover back and get in there.
find the open guy and they shoot and score. Great shot by number 24 for the Army team. That is Gunnar Miller out of New York with a goal.
It looked like that one was a high off-stick shot. We'll take a look at it again here. Pass came in. He had some time, some room. He took it, up high, off stick. It also looks like the goalie had a little bit of adjustment to try to pick up where the ball was actually going to be coming from. May have seen a little bit of his own player in the way there.
7th goal on the season for Gunnar Miller. He only played in 4 games last year. He was injured. So he's come back strong, helping this team to an 8-1 start. Now 2-goal advantage once again for Army. Army ball. The referee awards it to Army. They just scored. Now I think it's a matter of you're going to work the clock a little bit.
Yeah, now comes in the strategy of working the clock, making sure you got the right people out there on the field. If you're substituting, the refs aren't going to put in that 30-second clock. So even if they take a little bit longer to make their substitutions, they're still taking some more time off of the clock.
Shot by Johnson.
Nice shot, but I think the goalie got a little bit of it there. And Coach Federaca is a little fired up on the sidelines there.
Well, the referee were watching the ball. They were caught ball watching. He wanted a timeout. He called it 4 times, he said. He did not get it. So Army has it. Gilray gets the long stick in. The race is on for the ground ball, and he comes in with it. They'll give it back to Klipstein.
There you go. Bucknell's using all their personnel on this clear.
They just need to get it into the box in 30 seconds. Then we can worry about the offense. Touches in the box right there.
Yep.
Now look at the personnel they want on. Let's see if coach wants to call a timeout or it'll stay. Great stick work by Army.
And you see Army is putting on the pressure there. They're not going to go quietly here.
Bucknell today 30 shots on goal. (13 of 15 on the clear attempts. None bigger right there. Now, look for Sands to at least touch it.
Yeah, looking for Sands to do something. He's actually in on the crease right now. So now he's popped back out to X.
There is Sands. Yep. There's the feed. Oh, Brian just missed it. He had it, and it bounced right out.
They had a good look, and just unfortunately bounced right out of his stick. However, looks like Army may have just thrown the ball away. Yep, Army just threw the ball away.
Barretto's out of the net. Coach Abarizi runs all the way down and calls timeout because his goalie was 30 feet away from his goal. Timeout on the field for Army. 11-9's the score. 3:26 left in the 4th.
For over 30 years, Fairfield Auto Group has had a commitment to hometown values. We know how important that is to you. There's a Fairfield dealership near you, and with 13 brands and 8 locations, you'll see why customers have been loving us for 30 years. Cars cost less at Fairfield Auto Group. You're going to love us, Fairfield.
We're back in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Things getting a little excited up in the booth and down on the field. And Army is lucky because their goalie, A.J. Barretto, was...
He was a long way away. Yes, from the crease. And Bucknell, luckily Coach Albarisi was able to get a timeout in there. Bucknell could have made about a 20-yard pass and an easy open goal shot. So Bucknell's got they've got a lot of movement going on here right now. It looks to me like Coach Federaca fired them up, get those guys angry, Get him out there playing. Looks like Will Sands has got the ball, and number 12 was all over him there, causing all sorts of problems, not letting him make that.
Yeah, Cernic's been playing him well all day, the long stick.
Yes.
Oh, Bucknell has plenty of time, though. I mean, you get a goal here, and then you have to win the faceoff, and there's plenty of time in Lacrosse to get back in. Shot, saved by Moretto.
That's a big save. Big save. That shot came right as the player was turning the corner there, and goalie was ready for it.
10-man ride.
10-man ride again. Yep. Yeah. Oh, and they threw the ball away.
They're going. It's Bucknell ball.
Now the reason that one was a Bucknell ball, twofold. Number one, the officials counted that as a shot. It missed the goal, and the goalie was closest to the ball as it went out of bounds. Number two, Army threw the ball out of bounds. So it was kind of a double whammy there on that one. It was definitely coming back Bucknell.
Bucknell still has timeouts left to call, so let's see if Coach Federaca is going to watch his offense. Haven't had a shot in a while, but they do have a couple goals in this fourth. Sands barely gets it before falling out of bounds, and now he's got an open space. Looking for a feed. Oh, around the horn, goal for Collison.
This is going to be a good replay. Perfect feed from Sands, right in, and a behind-the-back shot. This is what you like. Fourth quarter Lacrosse right here. Take a look at this, Bob. As he brings it in, feeds right on the crease, and then behind the back. That was fantastic there.
That's Sports Center. I'm telling you right now, it's a top 10 play.
There you go. That I would put that up as our play of the game.
Witzel back in off the faceoff. Now, new faceoff guy.
New faceoff for Army. Yes. Okay.
Graber is out. This is their backup faceoff guy. Rogno, a junior out of Farmingdale, New York, 5 of 8 on the year, 62%.
This will be big. The Bison long stick midfielder. Actually, they put 2 of their long sticks up on the faceoff. You can see here they took one of their midfielders, brought him back in the defensive end of the field. So they've got 2 long sticks and the man at X on their faceoff. The Bison really want to come up with this.
And they do.
And they do. There you go.
Gilray. He'll take it across, and he'll take it as far as he can.
Yeah, he's going to run it right
Time
down.
out. Bucknell.
Yep. Right, that's exactly how that should have happened.
1:31 left in the game. Bucknell with possession and the ball. We'll be right back.
Watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
Wyoming Seminary was voted the #1 private school for Northeast Pennsylvania for grades toddler to 12 and postgraduate. SEM has it all. Challenging academics, diverse arts, championship athletics, activities for every interest, and has both local and boarding students from all over the world. Call or visit today.
Ball in play. Bucknell with 3 big goals. Looking for the tie, almost got it. Off the crossbar for Connor O'Hara, but Bucknell has possession. Down 1. This is the closest they've been since the first quarter. Plenty of time. Last week they did it. They pulled a tie and forced overtime to beat Loyola. Can they do it again against the 7th-ranked Black Knights of Army?
1 minute. 1 minute left.
Less than a minute to play.
It's going to come down to ball movement, getting that goalie out of where he wants to be.
Will Sands now, top assist leader in the Patriot League. Someone looking to dodge. Open up some space.
Yeah, they need something to happen right on the crease, right on this run here.
This is only the 3rd time Army has given up double digits. No flag down. Timeout, Bucknell. Someone took a whack to the head, no flag. Neither referee put a flag in the air as Malice took one right in the schnoz.
Yeah, and Coach Federica saw it from over here, just like everyone else, and he was fired up. He immediately called that timeout.
Right there.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
That probably should have been a cross-check or something.
A slash to the head.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. 27 seconds left for the Bison.
Drawing up an offensive play. They got a couple of seconds here, so they're going to draw something up quick. Get everybody on the same page. Everybody knows exactly what to do. They go out there, they get the ball, they move the ball. Probably 2, maybe 3 passes, and then put the ball in the back of the net. Push us into overtime. This is great lacrosse. Great lacrosse here. Patriot League play. This is what happens in the Patriot League. When you have this skill level amongst all the players on the team, and they go out and they're playing against one another, this is what you have. Nail biters down to the end, down to the finish.
These are the games Bucknell have done well in this season. At times they have not played their best. Coach Federica is honest about that. But when they play angry and they play aggressive, they play games like this. They're one of the top teams in the Patriot League, and they've proven it with wins over Boston and Loyola 2 of the last 3 weeks. Come on.
Like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, they need a win here. So hopefully these guys are angry, and they can do what they want to do here. They've got some kind of play written up, so let's see what they're going to do. Typically not in a traditional set, which makes sense. They're going to look to make a couple of
turnover.
Oh.
That was Cernick, who's had that long stick active all afternoon.
And
big hit. Bucknell ball, 10 seconds left. No timeouts remaining for Bucknell. A lot of time though. So here we go. Malice.
Now 4 seconds, 3 seconds here. He's got to do it.
Malice, shot. And that's it.
The buzzer.
That's how the game will end. Reed Malice with a long distance shot goes off the mark, and the Army Black Knights remain undefeated in league play, going to 5-0 for the first time since 2010 and 9-1 since then as well. The Bison gave it their all, but the shot went off the mark. They fought and they fought, and they did not prevail. The Bison fall to 5-5 on the year, 2-4 in Patriot League play as they move on. We'll take a breath. We'll try to get Coach Federica, and we'll wrap this one up from Christy Matheson. Exciting lacrosse in the Patriot League. Get out and see it. The final score, Army wins it, 11-10.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.
So the final score, the 7th-ranked Black Knights of Army pull out a 1-goal victory over Bucknell. And as you can tell, a lot of distraught faces here down on the Bucknell sidelines, but boy, they gave a great effort.
They gave a great effort. It was a fantastic effort all the way down to the very end there to come within 1 point. I mean, at one point they were down by 4 points, so to bring it all the way back, it's just got to be heartbreaking.
Trying to get into Coach Federica. He's going to join us in a second, but obviously it was a tough game, and here he is. It's going to take a moment. Coach, one quick question. I told you, boy, you never gave up in that one, and that's a tough one.
Yeah, that was hard. I mean, I'm proud of our guys, the way we battled the whole day, and we were tenacious and relentless. I don't think we started off as well as we wanted to and allowed the road team to get some momentum. But I was really proud on how we came back and stuck to it and had a chance at the end.
I'm going to add one more. What are you going to tell your team?
Oh, I'm proud of them, but if we want to win the game instead of just compete, we got to do it for a full 60 minutes.
Okay, Frank, good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay. Bring Bob Vanderheyden for one quick thing, but Bucknell's show, though, that they were in the top teams, but Army were real good from the outset, and they won most of the faceoffs.
Yeah, Army did come out right from the very beginning. Just from the first whistle, they were ready to go. They were ready to go. And like I mentioned when we came back from halftime, I was wondering if Bucknell was going to turn on a little bit more intensity on defense. I think that may have made a difference here, because when they did towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter, that little stronger intensity defense, it made a difference.
Patriot League lacrosse, you got to get out and see a game. I mean, you talk about the ACC, and obviously you're talking about the Big Ten now. Penn State's #2, Rutgers is up there. But Patriot League lacrosse, 1 to 8, some of the best in the country.
Yes, and they've got a lot of teams, too. That's the other thing, not just 1 or 2 really good teams. There's a lot of teams that are in the Patriot League that are worthy of you coming on out, checking lacrosse.
Okay, the final score, once again, the 7th-ranked Black Knights of Army go to 9-1 on the season. They remain undefeated in Patriot League play. Bucknell drops a game here at home. The final score, 11-10. Great job by our Fox 56 sports crew. Once again, 2 games in Lewisburg this week. Time to head back home, but great brand of lacrosse in the Patriot League on the women's and men's side. So for Bob Vanderheyden, this is Bob Ide saying so long from Bucknell University.
You're watching Bucknell Lacrosse on MyTV WQMY. Presented by Wise Markets and Wyoming Seminary.